morning. We made it through Snowmageddon. Everyone survived? Hi. Who's in a class with me for the first time with me? Cool. Okay. Peter. First time yoga, anyone? Second, third, fourth, fifth? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Yeah, cool. Okay, we got you. I've got a lot going on, which doesn't really suit my resolution to finish class on time. It's not working. It doesn't work. I got in trouble last week. Not really. Okay, so, and it's all coming. My teacher, my guru, Ram Dass, left his body a few weeks ago, and he's been guiding me really personally for like 15, maybe 18 years, and I've been through all his stuff. Like I've downloaded it all. I didn't keep it all; it sort of slipped out, but it kept coming. But since he's left his body, the beauty of his teachings in that, we're all dying, and he said, wouldn't it be great if we died on an upbeat? I like that. Can you imagine dying on an upbeat? That'd be pretty cool. Anyways, I think he died on an upbeat. So I'm not grieving. I wasn't grieving. One of the most important people in the world to me, but I'm not sad. If anything, I've turned back to all this stuff and I'm consuming it at like 4 times the rate I ever have been, which is kind of cool. So it's all kind of, so let's see how we do. I'm not nearly as eloquent as he was, or is. Who's suffering? Yeah, it's not a bad thing. Like it's the human condition, right? It's what life's all about, according to Buddha. But we've got like physical stuff, right? Like knees, who's got a knee thing or a back thing or a shoulder thing or a neck thing? Yeah, like every head, right? Exactly. So who's got a heart thing? Right? Yeah? Who's got like a lots of things up here? Right? Okay, exactly. So, and we identify with I keep polling you guys. We know the answer. The answers are all yes. We spend a lot of our time, the majority of our time, caught up in that stuff, right? Most of our efforts, if not all of them, are to either quiet that stuff down or heal it or forget about it or try and get to a space where that stuff's not happening, which doesn't exist really in the physical plane, right? But we're still trying, right? And it keeps us very much attached. Like we are actively gripping and holding on to that identification, right? With all this stuff that like, we don't have time or space for anything more than all that stuff that's going on for us. Yeah? This work, bless you, is to loosen that grip a little bit. Yeah. It's a very limited plane of consciousness where it's me and them, or us and them, or I and you, right? I got so much to worry about that, God forbid, we worry about us. Or there are other planes of consciousness. Ram Dass found them first through LSD, right? We take some of this stuff and we go to these other planes of consciousness where everything's purple and groovy and sparkly, right? It's not, that's real. It's as real as this for some people, sometimes. And so what he found was a way to get to those planes of consciousness without the drugs, which is important, right? That's a very mature thing to do in your life. Right? And even like, who gets their energy from coffee? right? Wouldn't it be great if we were operating in a way that we got our energy from something a little more natural that didn't have the crash? Who crashes after their coffee buzz? Come on, you don't crash? Because you go for the second one and the third one. And then by 5 o'clock you're yelling at people because yeah. Wouldn't it be great if we got that energy from something other than a drug, a substance? Okay. Anyways, I told you there's a lot of stuff, and I'm trying to tie it back into something that we can relate to. Ramdas talks a lot about, we identify with this very limited, separate individual who is doing almost nothing but suffering. Yeah? We are, if we want to, who wants to get out of that? I mean, you're here, you want to get out of that. So at some point, we need to turn back to ourselves and be like, okay, well, I've been pounding away at this body for 20 years, trying to fix it and heal it, and maybe it's more than just this physical, right? The heart just breaks, right? The heart just breaks, that's what it does. And it can be beautiful. And the mind, right? The mind, you give yourself up to, like, that's really hard to. So we want to find a space, a moment, or an experience of a state where we're able to identify with something bigger or broader or lighter than this really limited sense of self, right? And in the yoga, in the traditions, we talk about like going from duality, this non-duality, duality to non-dual, right? From this limited, separate selves to this oneness, where we start to see that everything's not just interconnected, because connection denotes separation, right? There's no need for connection where we are inherently, right? It's happening like right here, right? We don't have to do it, it happens, yeah? And if we can step into that experience, that state, and have a sense of freedom from this limited suffering self, so much of our shit will fall away. It really does. Like in that place, yeah, bogey's there a lot of the time. And then you can spend more and more and more and more time there, and then we're suffering less and less and less and less. And then when we start to understand that I'm not this limited thing, that I'm so much more, then we look at other people, and I mean, there's a good chance that I start to think that I'm Jesus and everyone else is, you know what I mean? And that might happen, right? But hopefully, what I see is Jesus and Jesus and Jesus and Jesus and Jesus, and God and God and God and God and God and God, and goddess and goddess and goddess, and love, right? Then we're not bombing each other, right? Souls, like that, from that place we love each other, right? So much of our conflict falls away, which is feeding our suffering. So the conflict falls away, so the suffering less is some more, and then we're more spacious and suffering less, so we can connect deeper, and more conflict falls away, and like we get this? I can see that you get it, but you're going to forget it. I'm going to forget it, and we're going to come back. Okay. Anyway, that's a little bit of what's going on for me. And let's just see how it lands, yeah? There you go. If we're going to make an effort, let's make efforts towards a space that is grounded and balanced and centered and clear, awake, alert, but calm and cool. Let's make our efforts really specifically, really effectively, directly in that, to that place. So what do we need to do to quiet the body? To let the heart do what heart does. Heart just waves, right? And then we start to maybe consider what the mind, right? The mind. Well, when it's focused, ekagrata, single-pointedly, with When it's focused, it gets quieter. So give the mind the job of organizing the physical body. A little more grounded. You want to be honest and peaceful. So, are you ignoring the pain in your knee or your hip or your lower back? Do something about it. Chase it. Sit on the block. Support the knee. Lie down if you have to. Grounded, supported, balanced. We can work with the physical body. It has effects at the subtler and subtler and subtler levels. So if we move to a physical balance, it helps the subtler energies balance as well. So are you leaning forward or are you leaning back? If you shifted one way or the other, tune into that. Grounded, supported, balanced, centered. Maybe the greatest tool is this awareness of the central channel. At a physical level, it's the spine. It's long, it's lifted, it's alert. Energized with your awareness, with some effort. It's the Sushumna Nadi, the energetic channel. It's a subtle expression of the spine. Grounded, balanced, supported, centered, lifted up through the spine, so alert, awake. And also relax. See if you can unfurrow the brow and scrunch the nose and soften the jaw. And then maybe the key element to these processes, these practices, is the breath. Breath, the breath, the breath. I haven't said it enough yet. The breath, 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 the breath. You don't have to worry about too much technique. At first, maybe. Just like, be there. You and the breath. And maybe you can even notice how it relates to the physical, emotional, mental state that you're in. If you're present and grounded and relaxed, the breath is probably easier and smoother. And if you're not, then the breath is probably affected, shorter, shallower, ragged, struggling. The broad spectrum. We want to go towards deep and full and smooth. And breathe through the nose. If we didn't know it, we breathe through the nose. We get the abdomen involved to really draw the breath deep, to encourage the diaphragm. Encourage, we press the belly out, draw diaphragm down to fill the lungs. As we exhale, unless we're pregnant, abdomen towards the spine, diaphragm up, empty the lungs completely. Just back and forth a few times, a deep, full way. The technique that we start to add to move towards that Ujjayi Pranayama is a regulation of the breath with the back of the throat. It's not nasal, we're not sniffing, we're drawing the breath from deeper, deeper. Abdomen, diaphragm's involved. We go all the way to full and we pause for at least a count, if not 2 or 3. And then we go all the way to empty, and exhale is a little bit longer than the inhale. Exhale more at the end. Can you pause there? And just back and forth. Your breath. Maybe not the deepest, but deep. Something that's sustainable. That will guide you through your practice. Hopefully you're tuned in real deep to yourself now. If, like me, you were paying attention to the room, you'd feel the shift. grounded energy, the calm, cool, collected, connected energy in the room. It's in this environment that the other stuff really stands out, right? So anything that's standing out, any tension, any dullness, any resistance, judgment, there's your work. And that stuff. If you're inclined, maybe bring your hands together. Thumbs the center of your chest. If anything I offered, anything that came through me from Ramdas, anything that it triggered or sparked, if it makes sense to run with it, do that. If you're here for something else, bring that in now. Bring it up now. As clear as you can get it, as high as you can aim. We got support. Not just our focus, our efforts, but the work that those around us are doing on themselves. In this way, we support each other. You have it if you need it. If you have extra, share it. Let it pulse out from you. In this way, we walk each other home. We set our intentions, we say our prayers, we send them out. The sound of 3 ohms. Exhale all the air from the lungs, go all the way down. It's like a unified breath. Full breath in. Pause, and a smooth, complete breath out. All the way out. Exhale more, pause there. If you're inclined, when you're ready, inhale 3 ohms. You can sit in that as long as you like. When you're ready, in your way, we're going to continue standing. There's no rush, because you might need to wake your legs up first. Whatever you need to do on the ground, yeah, someone's got to be first. Once you get there, whatever dance you need to do, roll the wrists, walk the legs, roll the shoulders, move the head around.